Be there last year. And to the Oklahoma Association of Realtors credit, they saw value in having me come and teach safety. This is what I do. This is my passion. So a lot of people don't truly realize that there's an expertise here. So I appreciate that they saw that and brought me in to talk to you all today. I am also a natural fast talker. If I go too fast, I am going to beg you to please slow me down. And typically this is where I say that I had an agent who waited until after the class. She came up to me and she said, "Tracy, you talk so fast it made me dizzy." But I was reading through the evaluations from yesterday's class and I can top that one. I had an agent who said I talked too fast, too loud, and I gave her a headache. So I'm asking you all, before we get to that point, please stop me, and I promise I will not be offended. How many of you all know that the U.S. Department of Labor considers real estate sales a hazardous occupation? Anyone heard that before? And it truly is. My job today is not to scare you or to induce fear, but to tell you how to do your jobs in a safer manner. I have been a real estate agent. As a matter of fact, I have a twin sister, and she and I got our licenses together about 26 years ago. She's still practicing real estate sales, and I am on the other end. I get to teach safety. And so this is my passion. Let's talk a little bit about some of the risk involved in doing your jobs. And just a warning, this is interactive, and when I ask a question, I want an answer, or else I will just get comfortable until someone answers. So who can talk to me a little bit about some of the risk in doing your jobs? What are you afraid of each day? What are some of the inherent risks of being a real estate agent?
Being robbed.
Being robbed? Okay, anything else? Give me at least two more. What are some of the dangers in your jobs? You can get attacked. Give me one more. Somebody else give me one more. Dangers, dangers, dangers. What are you afraid of? What do you worry about? You look like you want to say something.
Well, I think one of the worst things, I mean, besides just being attacked there on the spot, is being taken from like an open house or
being kidnapped.
Being alone, but being taken away from a public place.
Being taken away from a public place. How many of you all are familiar with the Beverly Carter story? Anyone comfortable enough to share it with us? Raise your hand. This is a room full of salespeople. I'm going to expect a little bit more during our 2 hours together, okay? Okay, Beverly Carter was a real estate agent in Arkansas who, during the last week of Safety Month last year, the last week of September, was kidnapped, and then her body was later found. That pretty much sparked a whole flurry of interest in real estate agent safety. And a lot of people think that after the Beverly Carter situation, you know, we better focus on safety and then everything's okay. Yesterday when I left here, I got the news that a real estate agent in Rolla, Missouri, which is 3.5 hours away from me, was raped. Last week, two real estate agents within an hour apart were held at gunpoint in Florida. Same guy within an hour apart, held at gunpoint. After that, a couple of days later in Florida, teenagers saw another real estate agent working and decided to relieve her of her valuables from her car as she was carrying signs in. And before that, in California, another real estate agent was kidnapped at gunpoint. And this is all this year, after the Beverly Carter situation. So a lot of times we let our guards down. That's over with, let's move on. I'm here to tell you that it happens on a regular basis, and my goal is to keep it from happening to anyone in this room. And that's what's going to happen today. We're going to understand the risk in this business, and we're going to learn how to overcome those risks and how to work around them. I've got a question for you. What does a criminal look like? Who are you afraid of seeing get out of the car when you have an appointment? Who do you not want to see walk into your open house? Every single person here has a preconceived notion of who they don't want to see. Political correctness aside, tell me.
She kind of scares me.
She scares you? Okay. Other than you. And who's that? Lisa? Other than Lisa. What else? Who do you not want to see?
Some sketchy looking person.
A sketchy looking person. You're about to say something.
Any single man.
A single man.
Especially if they stare at me, like
if
really
they're intently looking at you.
They creep me out.
Okay. What else? Who else do you not want to see? Who do you not want to see?
Just someone that's bigger than
someone bigger than you.
Or woman. Just
it could be.
Looks like they could just overpower me alone.
Okay. Someone bigger than you. One more. Who do you not want to see get out of the car or walk into the house? Every person. You're not looking at me. You're not making eye contact, so I'm coming to you.
Well, I'm looking at, I'll tell you what I was looking at. I was
Okay.
looking at your PowerPoint, and
Uh-huh.
a criminal looks, anybody looks like a criminal.
Thank you. You're making
You
a
can
point.
look like a criminal.
Exactly my point. So everyone has a preconceived notion. It could be someone with a lot of tattoos, a lot of piercings. How about the big baggy clothes? What about the leather motorcycle gear? Every single person in this room. Sometimes it's more than one man who shows up that concerns you, right? Every person in this room has something or someone that you are afraid of. So that's in your mind. This is who I need to look out for. I'm here to tell you that judging a book by its cover is dangerous. It could get you in a lot of trouble. So the question again, what does a criminal look like? And you hit the nail on the head. Look to your left. Look to your right. Look around this room. This is what a criminal looks like. You can't tell. What if the late, great Sam Walton pulled up to your open house in his beat-up pickup truck and his overalls and wanted to come in and look at your house? If you judged that book by its cover, what would you think? What do you think? He can't afford this. Why is he here? Why is he wasting my time, right? So you see the value of making an assumption based on looks. So I am telling you, don't base it on looks. And a lot of times if you see a couple, you think, oh, it's a couple, there's a lady, everything's fine. You kind of relax a little bit more. What if you see a family? You're thinking, this is okay. But think about those news stories where you see the moms, the loving, devoted moms pushing, who get caught pushing the baby, the stroller, and then they reach under the kid and stuff, and shoplift, steal stuff. They don't care about kids, right? So I am telling you, it doesn't matter the gender, it doesn't matter what they look like. Don't judge a book by its cover because that's going to get you in trouble. Criminals know how to assimilate, they know how to look, to clean up, and they know how to look. So you're saying, so what am I supposed to do? How do I decide who may mean me harm? What am I supposed to do? How many of you all watched Oprah when she came on a daily basis? No one ever raises their hand. She had millions of viewers. Somebody watched it. Okay, she had an author on there on a regular basis. His name is Gavin D. Becker. He wrote a book called The Gift of Fear, and it talks about survival signals that protect us from violence. Every single person in this room possesses something that will keep you from ever being victimized in any shape or form. You never have to take a class, never have to buy a product. Everyone here possesses it. Who can tell me what that is? Instinct, intuition, your sixth sense, that gut feeling, whatever it is. If you don't hear anything else that I say today, you have to hear this. Listen to your bodies. Trust your gut. It is hardly ever wrong. All of the animals in nature, human beings are the only ones who ignore that voice. And it's typically because we want to be polite. We don't want to offend anybody. How many times have you been ready to get on an elevator and you see someone in there and you're thinking, I don't know, but you go ahead and get in? You don't want to offend them. You don't want to hurt their feelings. Human beings walk into a still, soundproof chamber with someone we're concerned about because we're worried about hurting this complete stranger's feelings. Is that smart? I can't hear you all. Absolutely not, but we do it anyway. Okay, I had an opportunity to talk to a couple of real estate agents, veteran agents. They've been in the business for a while. One agent was excited. Again, I'm from Kansas City, and we have a suburb called Mission Hills. That's where all the rich people live, all the ball players and everything. So this is where the rich people live. She was going to show a doctor a mansion in Mission Hills. So she's excited. You know, she told the agent on board duty, she said, let me know when my client gets here. You know, I'm so excited. So the agent on board duty sees a guy approaching. He has on a lab coat. So he comes in and he asks for the agent. And then she went back and she said, your client's here. She said, but I've got a really weird feeling about him. How well do you know him? She said, he's a new client. She said, but can you postpone this? Check it out. I have a really bad feeling. He said, oh, you're so silly. So she goes to show the doctor houses that afternoon. She gets a phone call a little bit later, and it was the doctor. And she said, wait a minute, this phone call doesn't make sense. You're talking as if we've never met. She said, I spent the whole afternoon with you. You know, what are you talking about? He said, I've never met you. She said, yeah, I showed you houses you had on your lab jacket, your lab coat, had your name tag on it. He said, 2 weeks ago, someone broke into my office and stole my lab coat. It wasn't me. So at that point, she's all shook up. She goes to the other agent. She said, what did you see that I missed? She said, at the time, I didn't know what it was. She said, my gut told me something was wrong. She said, but now that I've had time to sit back and look at it, there were a couple of things that bothered me. First of all, he walked in with his lab coat on. Let me ask you all, how many times have you been in the grocery store, seen a doctor walking around with his lab coat on? Ever?